Good evening, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Lucia from Docsity, and it's an honor for me to present this webinar organized by Docsity in partnership with Bocconi University, which is called Bocconi Meets Latin America. This special and exclusive event where Bocconi University wants to present its international programs to the Latin American students. Just bear with us for a couple of minutes. We're waiting for everyone to join and see already a lot of people are joining this presentation. We are expecting so many people from so many different countries, so just give them, we want to give everyone a couple of minutes for you to join. In the meantime, you can just write on the chat to say hi and tell us where you're joining us from. And then during the presentation, you can start writing your questions on the Q&A box that you will find right here below in the Zoom menu. And we will have our panel to answer them all at the end of the presentation. So bear with us for a couple of minutes. Hi from Argentina. Hi from São Paulo, Brazil. Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for being here tonight. We have people from Mexico saying hi, from Peru, from Ecuador, from Chile. Thank you very much, everyone. I see a lot of you already writing on our chat. Thank you very much for being here with us. As I said before, you can start putting your questions right now or during the presentation in the Q&A box. And we'll be more than happy to answer them all in the presentation. I already see a lot of greetings on our chat. Thank you very much for that. As I said before, my name is Lucia from Docsity, and I have the honor to present this webinar organized in partnership with Bocconi University called Bocconi Meets Latin America. We invite you to discover Bocconi University in these exclusive events that Bocconi is organizing for the Latin American students. We have a luxury panel tonight. I'm going to name them briefly, and then I will leave them the floor. We have Mario Tabarini, Head of Guidance and Recruitment from Bocconi University. Hi, Mario. Thank you very much for being here with us tonight. We also have Veronica Suldo, Guidance and Recruitment from Bocconi University. Welcome, Veronica. Thank you very much. We also have Chiara Secco, Country Manager, Mexico, Central America, and Caribbean at Green Power Monitor, also from Bocconi University. Thank you very much, Chiara. We also have Daniel Ruiz from Brazil. He's a machine learning engineer at Devote team. He's an alumni from Bocconi University. Hi, Daniel. Thank you very much for being here with us tonight. We also have Ivan Vieira Pistelli from Brazil, trainee DG for Economic and Financial Affairs at the European Commission, also an alumni from Bocconi University. Hi, Ivan, thank you very much. And we have also Erica McDowell from Peru. She's a graduate of the SAMS Master in International Management from Bocconi University. We also have on the screen Chiara Sansone from Bocconi University. Thank you very much, Chiara, for being here with us tonight. So without further ado, I will just leave the floor to our panelists and to our participants. Enjoy the presentation.
Thank you so much, Lucia. It's a pleasure. I've seen people coming from all over Latin America, from Mexico to Colombia, Peru, Argentina, Brazil, every country, Costa Rica I've seen. So very, very nice to meet you and it's midnight here, no, 11:30 here in Italy. So me, Veronica, and a couple of alumni, and Chiara, and a couple of alumni, for us it's nighttime, but I know it's evening there. So we'd love to be there personally, and we're traveling also actually Latin America. My colleague Stefano is currently enjoying the recruitment fairs in Latin America. It's a pleasure to be here tonight. I will go briefly through the agenda. Let me share my screen. Lucia already mentioned basically the people who will be involved. So the agenda will be the first part of the presentation. We have great pleasure to have tonight the presence of Benedetto Reitano, who is the first secretary of the Italian embassy in Brasilia, of course, one of the most important embassies in the world and for sure in Latin America. And so Dr. Reitano will give you his welcome. And then we have the welcome from Renata Fontana, our alumni chapter in Sao Paulo. We have thousands, hundreds of thousands alumni all over the world, and in any country, in any city, we have big communities, and Renata is the head of the biggest in Latin America in Sao Paulo. Then me and my colleague Veronica will introduce you about Bocconi, and this first part of the presentation will last about half an hour to 35, 40 minutes. Then we have our dear alumni. They have some connections with Latin America. Either they are Latin Americans who came to Bocconi to study and now they work everywhere in the world, or we have also Chiara, who is Italian, but she's working in Latin America. So without further ado, let me give the floor to Dr. Benedetto Reitano for his welcome. Thank you.
Dear all, welcome to this presentation of the Bocconi University activities. I'm honored to join you today as the head of the cultural office at the Embassy of Italy to Brazil. So as I work in Brazil, I represent Italy in Brazil. I'm more focused on that specific country, but what I can say about Brazil, it's certainly be true for all the Latin America. Indeed, Italy and Latin America in general have a remarkable history of collaboration, not only in the economic and diplomatic sectors, but also in the culture and research, which with a very strong bond that continues always to flourish. The ties between Italy and Brazil and all the other countries of Latin America run deep, fostering collaboration and mutual appreciation across various sectors, from business to academia to art and culture, creating a vibrant tapestry of exchange that enriches both the nations, all our countries. So as we gather here today, we are connected by the shared pursuit of knowledge and the countless opportunities that await those who choose to embark on the educational journey offered by the Bocconi University. Bocconi University indeed stands as a beacon of academic excellence. Its world-class faculty and commitment to bridging theory and practice consistently place it among the top universities in Europe. Graduates of Bocconi University are known for their readiness to excel in the professional world, thanks to the institution's strong industry connections. Yet the allure of Bocconi extends beyond the classroom. It extends to the enchanting city of Milan, a city that seamlessly blends history and modernity, culture and commerce, tradition and innovation. Milan is a living canvas of art, and it's a canvas of culture, offering students a unique opportunity to immerse themselves in a city that celebrates the joy of life, while simultaneously fostering growth and ambition. I would encourage Latin American students to explore the remarkable opportunities that Bocconi University and Milan offer. Your educational journey here at the Bocconi University Milan will be more than an academic pursuit. It will be a transformative experience, an opportunity to contribute to the long-standing relation between our nations, and the chance to shape a brighter and more interconnected future. I conclude here my intervention. I don't want to take too much time for the other person today that will explain all the details and the offer of Bocconi. But I would like to thank you for your attention, and I wish you all the very best for your educational and personal journeys. And may you find inspiration, knowledge, and lasting connections in the vibrant earth of Milan. Grazie e buona fortuna.
Grazie mille. Thank you so much, Dr. Reitano. It's a great honor for us to have the Italian institutions so important abroad accompanying us throughout our journey in Latin America. So thank you so much. Thank you. I know you're very busy, so thank you again for your time. And let me leave the floor to Renata Fontana, our chapter leader in Sao Paulo. Renata, the floor is yours.
Hello, good night, everyone. Okay. Yeah, I'm okay now. Well, first of all, thank you so much, Benedetto, for the amazing introduction. And Mario, thank you for introducing me. I don't want to be to extend too much, but I want to say some important words about Bocconi and São Paulo. So as Mario said, I'm leading the alumni chapter in São Paulo. where we have a growing community, and above all, a solid community. And we share the passion and the rigor in different areas. Our connections with the companies are always evolving as we have more and more students that are graduating. And very quickly, let me just switch to something that I know we're going to talk later, but I had myself pursued a MAFED, which is a master that deepens practice and research into the high added value industries in Milan. And besides having excellent academic content and discussions, again, industry relations and exceptional networking up to date. So besides São Paulo community, we do have a Latin America and actually a global community. So for instance, I just said about the program I participated, I was the only Brazilian, but I'm still in contact with all the professionals that we have graduated together and are still very active in the industry. So here in São Paulo, we welcome everyone who is traveling or doing business besides, as I said, academic and industry and the traditional networking. So please be very welcome. You're gonna listen to very interesting people. And do not hesitate to contact me if you want to have any other information. So please, Mario, I think it's back to you. I don't know, Veronica.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Renata. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. It's a great pleasure. And we're very proud of our alumni. So thank you so much, Renata. And we will have more experiences after our presentation. So let me start with the institutional presentation. So let me talk a bit about Bocconi. I know many of you already have seen in the chat, somebody has been already applying in the early session. So for some of you, these may be things that you know, but I think it's useful for everybody to give an overview of our university. So Bocconi was founded back in 1902, so very recent for Italian standards. We have the oldest universities in the world. But it was the first university granting a degree in economics and commerce in Italy and one of the first business schools in the world back at that time. We have been always very much international, so we started the exchange programs back in 1974. And that was well before the Erasmus program, which is the mobility program throughout Europe, which was built in 1987. So already in our DNA has been always the fact that we are very much international. And in fact, in 2001, we started our first bachelor degree fully taught in English. And that was the first one ever in Italy. And this course, the Bachelor of International Economics and Management, is still existing today. The size of Bocconi is about 15,000 students, so pretty good. We're not doing anything. I'll come later to this. We focus on the social sciences. Very international again, 100+ nationalities on campus. It's very easy to walk around campus and hear people speaking English, of course, but also Spanish, Portuguese, French, and so on and so forth. We have 3,700 international students enrolled. And if we consider only the courses, the degree courses taught in English, which are the large majority, we are at 46%. This is the general percentage, but if we take the last intake only, so this September, we are over 50% of students coming from outside Italy. So a very international place. And to this, we have to add also 2,000 students who come to Bocconi on exchange and double degree. So overall on campus, every day, there are about 5,000 students who are non-Italian. The positioning of Bocconi is pretty good. We are constantly ranked among the top 20 in the world and among the top 2, top 3 in Europe. But actually, if we consider continental Europe, so taking off, or we consider the European Union, we are very often number 1 in any ranking you may think. So these are some examples. We are very much focused on the international network. We exchange with almost, let's say, 290 universities, 286 now. And this network combines the quantity of opportunities, 2,000 opportunities every year, with the quality. So if you take any ranking in any continent, you find there that we partner with all the top schools in the fields of social sciences. Also, we are very much connected with the business community. The alumni will talk about their experiences, but Bocconi was founded by an entrepreneur, Mr. Bocconi. And this connection with the corporate world has come throughout the years as of today. So today we are connected with over 4,000 employers. And this, as a result, we have offered last year over 13,000 internship and placement opportunity to our students. Consider that these opportunities are offered to all the students, and in the 15,000 we consider everybody. Basically, each single student in their last year have received more than one offer of a job, and we take advantage, of course, of the very big and incredible alumni community worldwide that we already mentioned. So over 135,000 alumni worldwide. We have our career fairs, Bocconi and Jobs, recruiting dates, specific investment banking fair, and these are the top employers. Basically, our students work in any big company all over the world, or they found their own one. The placement is pretty good. We consider that at the master level, because the bachelor level, 95% of the students at Bocconi continue and do the master, so they don't go to work immediately. At the master level is one of the highest in the world, so 97.1% employed 1 year after graduation. This, if you look at the Financial Times ranking, this is one of the highest. And already on the graduation day, over 80% of the students already work. So basically, they have to take a day off from work in order to graduate. This is because they find an internship, and maybe the employer find themselves very good, and they want to keep them, and they say, okay, stay and finish the university while you already have a job. There are opportunities in Italy, but also opportunities out of Italy. Over a third of the students, 36% to be precise, work and live abroad, outside Italy, one year after graduation. Coming to the academic offer, this was a mistake. It's not a Master of Science, but overall offer. As I mentioned before, we don't do everything. So we don't have medicine, we don't have architecture, we don't have engineering. We do have a focus on the social sciences. So management, economics, finance, and also political science and law on one side, and on the other side, data science and mathematics for artificial intelligence. So these are our 6 fields of studies, and they are taught within our program. So let's start from the bachelor programs. And you see at the top, we have the management courses, basically the general management one, which is the first one, then a more focused management of arts, culture, and communication. And then the World Bachelor in Business, the flagship program that we have with the University of Southern California and the Hong Kong University of Science and Technology, which is 4 years. In Italy, all the programs by law are 3 years. This program is 4 years because you get 3 degrees. It's the only case in the world. Then we have the more economics and finance focused courses. And then the 2 courses, which are the more recent, but they were requested by the market, by the employer, saying, okay, in Bocconi, you do very good teaching of management, but also, this is a data-driven world. We have to work with the data, we have to work with the engineers, and so on and so forth. So let's build up a course which is, which may, let's say, teach the students how to be good manager, but how to be also good data scientists. And this is the economics, management, and computer science, and also a mathematics course, which is the mathematical and computing sciences for artificial intelligence. Also, that course is very, very, let's say, important in these days. On the other side, we have international politics and government, our political science course, very rigorous as well. And the new kid in the block, we started this in September, is the Bachelor of Arts in Global Law. This is for people who wants to work in the legal, let's say, studies, legal office of corporates, of companies. Our programs, as mentioned, is 3 years. So basically, the first year you're on the fundamentals. You study mathematics, statistics, microeconomics, law, and all that stuff, which is pretty strong. And then you focus on your study, and in the 3rd year you do the electives, and you may do the exchange, and you may do an internship. We're talking about over 60% of the students who do these experiences in Italy or abroad for the internship, and abroad for the exchanges. So The 3-year program is very, very, let's say, tight, but intense, but with lots of into it, I would say. The Master of Science instead is 2 years in Italy by law. And again, we focus a bit more on the program. So you have a marketing, for example, program. You have an accounting program, management and innovation technology. So you have more focused programs of the disciplines you've been focusing on in the bachelor. Again, the same areas. You find out management, then you find finance, then you have economics area, politics, and then data science, artificial intelligence, and so on and so forth. So the Master of Science in Italy is 2 years. So, to me, it's a big advantage because, 2 years instead of 1 year, as in other many countries, because in 1 year, basically you can study, you do academics. In the 2 years, you do academics in the first year, and the second year is what I call an empty box. So you put their electives, you do an exchange, you do an internship, which is mandatory, by the way. You specialize in some areas you want, and basically, when you go on the job market, your profile, your curriculum is much more appealing to the employer than a 1-year curriculum because you've been doing academics, but also other experiences. So I value that. Very, very much. You've seen that 80% of the students already work in the second year. So this is our program. Let me leave the floor to Veronica. So I stop sharing my screen and leave Veronica share a screen for the admission part, admission selection, fees, funding, and all that stuff. Very, very important. Veronica, to you.
Takes a second, sorry. Welcome also from my behalf. I will talk a little bit about more technical information about admission, and I hope I will already start answering some of the questions I see in the chat. I'm very happy to see that some students are already in the process of applying. Some have already submitted their application and they started and they are just waiting for admission results. So I'm going to provide a few information about all the steps from application through admission and enrollment and arrival on our beautiful campus. So for bachelor students that I see from the chat and the questions that there are a few here, I can tell you that there are 3 selection sessions. One, I know in the majority of the countries in Latin America, the calendar is upside down compared to us. So the early session that for us would be the spring session, I guess for you is more of the fall-winter session. In any case, because all our courses start in September, through especially the early session, you get admission results basically 1 year before, and especially from overseas, from North and South America or from Asia, getting to know it very early is very helpful in order to plan your move to Italy, so also accommodation, travel, documents, and so on. Basically, each year we have 3 selection sessions, and each candidate can apply up to 3 times. So you can apply early, check your results. In case of non-admission, you can reapply 1 and 2 times. In order to apply, what we need: a selection test, SAT or ACT that are very well known by students attending international schools, students interested in the US. They are standardized tests that many universities ask for. If you are not familiar with these American standardized tests, you can sit the Bocconi online test that, allow me to say that, thanks to the pandemic, is now fully online. You can take our Bocconi test from your desk in your bedroom at home with all the quiet and focused atmosphere that you need to be focused and sit this test. It's in any case very similar to SAT or ACT in terms of elements of evaluation, your reading skills, critical reading skills, your analytical skills, how quickly you gather information from a text or from a graph, and so on, how quickly you analyze numbers. So this is more about logic and aptitude. Then, of course, we need your high school transcripts from year, usually 10 and 11 out of 12 years of education. So IB diploma year 1 and the previous year in case you're attending an IB school. And your CV and personal statement that complement, let's say, the student profile in a holistic way. Mario mentioned very briefly the World Bachelor in Business, that is a triple degree in collaboration with the University of Southern California in US. If you're interested in that, you would have to apply through the Common App. Again, a very, let's say, American-oriented thing, but if you're into it, you can apply. Of course, we are happy to provide all the information and support, but the physical application will be through the American Common App. For Master of Science programs, and again, I see many people here who already asked the questions about our MSc. You have 5 selection rounds. It's almost a rolling application. So whenever, let's say that in my opinion, it's more important when you get results. If you apply by 6 November, you get results by Christmas time and so on. And this again allows you to plan your coming and move to Italy and Europe smoothly. Again, the elements of evaluation are a test that can be GMAT or GRE. I'm sure many of you are familiar with GMAT or GRE that are required by many business schools all over the world. And again, you can sit our own Bocconi test from home, from your home, very, let's say, focused and quiet. We would also need your GPA, so the exams that you passed during your bachelor degree. We have several partner universities in Latin America. And one thing I wanted to point out is that all the students who attend an exchange program at Bocconi from all our partners, sorry Mario, I cannot mention all of them, you know all of them. Do you want to mention a few of them?
No, I think all that, there was on the slides 7 out of the top 8.
No, but I mean the names of a few of them.
Sì,
Sao
Fundação Getúlio
Paulo.
Vargas, INSPER in Brazil. Then we have ESAN in Mexico, ITAM and Tec de Monterrey in Mexico as well. ESAN in Peru, sorry. PUC in Chile. So many.
Argentina?
Argentina, we have San Andres, the Universidad de Buenos Aires, so many others. Torquato di Tella. Torquato di Tella, because it's Italian.
Torquato Tella. I'm not good in pronunciation. What I wanted to underline is that for all of you who are attending this kind of universities and you want to spend a semester here with us in Milano, you will also have a beneficial and a special application process, and you will be waived GMAT or GRE or the Bocconi test. So you will only be evaluated also on the exams that you passed during your 6 months, your semester at Bocconi. This is just for all of you who have a partnership, who are attending a university, who have a partnership with us. For all the other people, a test is compulsory, your transcripts, CV and personal statement. To be honest, CV and personal statement at master level have a very much, let's say, highlight compared to bachelor. You are a bit more mature. Maybe also Renata, when she chose her Mr. Mafed can confirm, but I mean, it's more related to your dream job, how we can help you with that, and if the specific program, Renata attended a program in design and fashion. Among the MSc at Bocconi, we have one in art, culture, media and entertainment, one in government and international organization. So you can really let us know why at this point, after a bachelor program, you have a specific interest in this area, and how Bocconi can help you achieve your dreams, let's say. So personal statements and CVs become a bit more important when you apply for a master. What I also wanted to mention is this: the whole elements of evaluation of for admission are also considered for merit scholarships. It's a question that I've been reading in the questions in the Q&A, so I want to answer very quickly about that. When you apply for admission to bachelor or masters, you are automatically considered for what you see here written awards, Bocconi Merit Awards. For both bachelor and masters, these are awarded to, of course, the most talented students in the ranking. You know, we collect all the applications, we set up a ranking from the very best we received each year, and we start assigning places and sometimes scholarships. What can determine your level in the ranking? Your academic value or high school scores, high scores, the test scores, but again, your personality, your special something that you can really try to transfer to us. Bocconi Merit Awards are 100% tuition fee waiver. At that point, you would only need to fly to Milano. Bocconi International Awards are 50% tuition waivers, and they have to do again with academic talent and let's say high school high profile, but also with multiculturality and diversity. So if you're coming from a country that is not much represented here, or if you are a very multicultural person, or if you are a very international person who attended many activities in several countries, this is what we want. Let me also make this point here. In our classes, we, as Renata said, we admit very few from each country, one from Brazil, the year of Renata, but because we want a very multicultural class, you are gonna work together a lot, and you will learn a lot about also intercultural skills and how to deal with different cultures in a professional way. Renata, tell me if I'm right saying this, but I think, thank you. Last but not least, about scholarships, we also have Bocconi Women Awards for female students admitted in the program in finance, in Master of Science in Finance. Generally speaking, we have been Bocconi alumni, represented again by Renata and also by all the panel of students and alumni we will hear in a moment, have been contributing together with companies, with the Bocconi Foundation, to student financial aid. As you can see here in the slide, the amount is 50+ million euros for 2024-2025. 1 out of 4 students receives some sort of financial aid. And exactly, let me finish this slide with that. If you do not get one of the Bocconi Merit Awards that is communicated to you together with admission results, you can apply for financial aid, for need-based scholarship based on your income and again academic profile, and this would allow you to also have a discount on tuition fees. Last but not least, we also have for EU passport holders, and I know in Latin America there are a lot. special loans, student loans with Unicredit and Banca Intesa. A few more words about our campus. This photo is one of our student residence halls with nice balconies, single rooms. We have 7 residence halls, and the service is, I would say, like a 4-star hotel with a 24/7 security and a cleaning service, as well as also a very Italian design style, as you can see here in the photo. Since 2019, we opened up an amazing sports center with an Olympic swimming pool. In Italian, in Latin, we say mens sana in corpore sano, so a good mind in a good body. We believe in that. There are a lot of student associations and sport association you can enjoy. Also a lot of speakers, and again, student association, you can say, let's say, enrich your CV with. I don't want to talk too much. I spoke too much tonight, and I want to leave the floor to our students and alumni to talk about this, because I'm sure each of them will have to say something about all the activities and events and student-related initiatives have been attended during their experience at Bocconi. My last word is related to our bigger campus. Bocconi is an urban campus in the city center of Milano, Italy, that hosts 7 other universities for a total of 200,000 students. And I always joke about that. Milano is not the Italian administrative capital, but it's a financial capital. In Milano hosts the Italian Stock Exchange, which is connected to the the FT Stock Exchange in London. And this tells you a lot about finance related items in Milano and at Bocconi. I don't want to say much, and again, I want our students and alumni to talk about how they experienced also Milano and our city. So I think it's now the time to give the floor to our alumni and testimonials. I think we would start with Mexico and Chiara.
Hi everybody. Can you hear me well?
Sì, perfetto.
Great. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm really excited to be part of this initiative. I'm a 100% Bocconi student. I've done both bachelor and master in Bocconi, and I have to say it built up a lot of what I am right now. I remember when I was choosing which university to do. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was ambitious, but I didn't know towards what yet. And what I really liked was that actually Bocconi looked for me at my 4th year of high school. In Italy, there are 5 years of high school. And in the 4th year of high school, Bocconi will go to look for the student with the best average around Italy, which also give you the idea of this pursuit of excellence that they have, you know. I still didn't know, but they brought me to Milan. We did some courses, we did some tests, we witnessed some lesson. And I remember that I was completely shocked by the environment. I come from a small place in Italy. I never seen so many people from everyone in the world. I was always a very good student, but I think I was missing all I come from a classical background. So for me, English, Spanish, French was not something common. I was learning ancient Latin and Greek, you know. So when I arrived there and I heard lots of different languages, lots of different people, and the lessons that we witnessed were very practical, very case-based study, which is not something that's always common in Europe to see. And I was completely fascinated. I also liked how they presented us immediately with, look, like it was 2010, so we were like just starting a very hard economic crisis in Europe. So the first thing they told us was, you're going to be exposed to work environment to employers since the beginning. And then, so everything, all of that was like pushing you outside of your comfort zone, but at the same time, give you some kind of security. This kind of feeling between adrenaline and anxiety and excitement was a really nice feeling. And then you get out from the university and the same feeling continues in Milan, I feel. It's a very international city, not common in Italy either. And you see there are a lot of young people because there are campus everywhere, and also a lot of international people because a lot of international company from everywhere in the world, they are based in Milan when they have a base in Italy. So the environment was very electric, both inside the university and outside. So when I arrived to choose finally in the 5th year of university, for me, no other experience in any other campus really compared. So I decided to start in Bocconi, again, not 100% clear about what I wanted to do. And what I feel that I'm mostly thankful is that in Bocconi, you get a lot of technical skill. You saw the ranking. It's university that is among the first everywhere in Italy, in the world, but also give you a lot of soft skill, which is something that is not common to get when you're not working. So for me, it's like if you already know what you want to be, it's great because you can choose the most, secure path, the most technical path, and you have that. And you have that with the best professor, and you can be the best in your chosen field. If you don't know yet, I think that all the soft skill that they force on you, because, I arrived, I was 19, I was real scared to confront myself with the external world. And there is like, no, like do work group with people from everywhere in the world. And when you study, it's not just learning a text, it's case study, a lot of practical case study. So it's already training your mind to work in a very practical sense. And then it's not enough to be a good student. You need to know one or plus language, so it is not enough to just do your little part. I think it's a university that very much push you to do that extra step that later when you graduate, it's super valuable. So it was like European license of computer. Didn't know anything about computer. Now I work for a software company. Like I would never imagine that at 20, but start university was like European European license for computer, advanced license for computer, learn English perfectly because we're going to send you in an exchange. And good luck, but was like great, was a very good university in US that I chose. And I think was my first opportunity to see outside of Europe. Obviously, if you are in Italy, you already have that international background, but these students go back and forward. So you can see them in Milan and then you get the chance to go there. So for me, that was great. Also, they push you to do a lot of extracurricular. There are a lot of associations, so it's very easy to find people with common interests with you. I did a international law association, even an international tax association. And then I was not too comfortable with the sound of my own voice and speaking in public. So I did like a public speaking course. And I even did like a radio program, just like to be sure to do it all. And I think this kind of soft skill really build up to a profile and a curriculum that then is really attractive for a company outside of the university, like safe space, So then when I arrived, not even to the last year, was first semester of the last year of my master, they push you a lot to do an internship. And for me was, okay, I did already the exchange abroad. Let's continue on that path. I chose an internship in New York. I was a trainee in the Italy America Chamber of Commerce in New York. Also for this specific path to choose your internship, I like that was not something that I had to do alone. There is a career service in Bocconi that, at least for me, that, I didn't have anybody in my family really doing economics or international. All of them like lived in Italy, stay in Italy, they're doctors, so they have nothing to do with that environment. For me, it was really useful to have someone that could guide me. I was telling them like my preference and what I like. Obviously, it was not very defined yet because I didn't know where I wanted to be, but I have some preference. And I remember I told them, and they always presented me with options that I really liked. So, use this tool the university give you, because if you use them, for sure you're going to land a job that you like. I did this internship. I loved it. In New York, I remember that I met with the Bocconi community in New York, which was really, really cool because were people that were studying in exchange in New York, were people that were doing internship like me, and there were people working in New York. So even through that, I got like an interview, and they wanted me to move to work there immediately, which I couldn't do because I wasn't even graduate yet, but it's great to have these kind of chances and opening. So, and also what I feel that what Bocconi push you to do is to have a very healthy balance between study and social life. It's not all work. To work in New York can be a little overbearing because it's a lot of work. And also, meanwhile, I was still studying, so it's a lot. But then at the same time, through your university, you can find a group that you can hang out with and go out, it's really cool when you are in a country or in a city in which you don't know anybody. And then I came back to graduate. And when I was graduating toward one of the association, one of the professor was like, we should write the thesis together. He was doing a project with the OECD, writing like a report on something new that came out that year. So I was like, let's do it. I write my thesis with him, and he took me as an assistant. So, I was again already working. And then I remember I went to a job fair just to see, and I talked with a couple of employers that really hit close to home for me. I like them because they were, especially the one that I ended up working with. I met him in a job fair and was doing study about European funds that were given out to different states for energy, which is what I end up doing right now. And so with always this international vision. So I graduated, that I was still an assistant. So I, graduated working. And then when I graduated, I say thank you very much to my professor. He bring me even to an SDA course that he did. I got the chance to do half of a master, an additional master in international tax with him without charge because I was working there, which was extremely interesting because I met people from all over the world. I have people that I'm still in touch with in Latin America that I met in an SDA master. And then I got my first like real job with this company that I met in the job fair. And from there, like my career really never stopped. I never stayed one day without working. I changed 2 jobs to arrive to the one that I have now. It's not too many, and always stay in my chosen field. So I feel really privileged, and I feel that Bocconi was a really good foundation for me, and even a little more than that because it comes with you. To change from university to work can be scary and can be a little intimidating, but I feel like it wasn't like that because it was really like step by step, and it was together in a campus life. It was really nice for me. It was a really good experience.
Thank you so
I'm gonna
much,
stick
Chiara.
around.
Thank you. We
Yeah.
can feel your passion. No, thank you, really. You've
I'm
been
happy to be
everywhere,
here.
and this is a typical path of a Bocconi graduate to have different opportunities all over the world. Veronica.
Yes, let's give the floor. We go from the senior down, and I think the next one is Daniel Ruiz. He was my student during the pandemic. Daniel, we randomly met because there was the pandemic, right? But then I followed you around.
Well, thank you for the introduction. I hope everyone can hear me. First, I would like to say it was very nice to go through the slides, see the presentation, because it greatly resonated with my experience at Bocconi. It's just so nice to see the pictures of the campus, the career events, the student residencies. That's quite good to see. I graduated before the inauguration of the new campus, so I have not seen the new campus yet, but it's amazing. The pictures that I've seen, they are just great. Let me talk a little bit about my experience as a master's student at Bocconi, but to talk about how I got there to be a master's student, I first need to talk about my first experience at Bocconi, which was doing an exchange during bachelor. So I first went there for 6 months to do a regular exchange, and I really liked my experience there. I thought the university was great. If you go on the website, you can see the curriculum, right? The courses that are offered, and you can see how they are structured, the type of subjects, like what's going to be taught, the kind of books. And for me, I really liked the curriculum, the way things were taught, the subjects that I could take. So after I came back, after my exchange, I was doing then bachelor at the University of São Paulo. Going back stayed on my head, and I always wanted to do masters. And personally, when I was doing my exchange, I also had a very good time in Milan. Like it or not, when you're doing bachelor, masters, you're going to commit some years of your life, of a very special age, I would say, to stay in a city, to meeting some people, to be in a place. So I think it's very important to be in a university that's a great university, that's going to be great in terms of academics and professional, but also a university that's somewhere that you enjoy, that will allow you to personally enjoy it to the most that you can. Of course, it's hard. There are things to do, events to attend, and all of that, but it's very important to be somewhere good. And in Bocconi, I found that when I came back for masters, it was a bit more of what I had seen in bachelor, and there's some things that I've never seen that way anywhere else. The international community of Bocconi, I think it's crazy, and considering also Milan, there are many universities there, so the international community of Milan is like huge, but at Bocconi is just so concentrated. And when I was doing masters, I remember that my friends, they were doing exchange and internships literally all over the world. And I left for summer and came back for then a class, and what was happening, where was everyone, and literally people go all over the world to do all the different things, and it's even hard to keep track of what's going on. And for me, just something fascinating and very, very interesting. I really like that experience. Even my master's, I did a regular master's. It was not a double degree. It was in theory 100%, or could do it 100% in Italy. But I did my first year at Bocconi. Then I left for an internship in Frankfurt at Deutsche Bank. Then I went to Canada, for Toronto, for an exchange program doing masters. And then I came back to finish my thesis, and I barely finished my thesis. I went to Hamburg in Germany to work there as a consultant. So everything moved quite fast. I signed my contract, I think, quite fast. So despite COVID, everything moved quite fast for me. And yeah, just this energy for me, the international community, and everyone going to all these places, it's great. And yeah, I think these parts for me are the most standard. Everything that happens beyond the classes, beyond the exams. I think the creativity part, the personal part, it's also great. So there are so many people coming to Bocconi for lectures, events. On my first week of the masters, there was the inaugural lecture. That's a big thing of Bocconi. And in my year, we had Howard Schultz, the CEO of Starbucks. I arrived quite early, so I sat on the first row and I shook hands with him. So that was like for me a very good first week, something quite cool. And
it's still in the slide, Daniel. Did you see it? It was real. You were a testimonial.
So yeah. Thank you so much, Daniel. No, also for your contribution. Veronica.
Thank you. That was great. I'm very happy because you see, it's so real what we show in the slides that happen to students. I think we are now going from Germany, where Daniel is, to Brussels, to Ivan, who is doing an internship. I didn't want to spoil her, Ivan, but we are willing to hear from your story.
Well, good afternoon or evening, everyone. Thank you very much for the presentation. It's a very interesting to, again, 2 years later, to see more or less some flashbacks that I had, like Daniel. Just to introduce myself, I'm a Brazilian master's student of politics and policy analysis, currently in my second year. And now I'm doing an internship at the European Commission in Brussels, which is basically the executive power of the European Union. Also, I am soon moving to Paris to start another internship at the OECD, so the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. On my background, I studied business administration in France. I did a double degree in France and Brazil at the Fundação Getúlio Vargas, which is also a partner university of Bocconi. But as soon as I completed my bachelor's at Bocconi and France, in Brazil and France, I knew that I had to have a master's degree if I wanted to start building a career in Europe. This is something very different than in South America, or at least in Brazil, where you can just go to straight from your bachelor's to the job market straight away by simply having a bachelor's degree. I think in Europe, that's not much the case. So I wanted to build a career in Europe, and I knew that I had to continue my studies. And also it was a way to switch from business, from private sector, from the private sector more towards the public sector and international organizations. And I think that was fundamentally one of the main reasons that I chose Bocconi, that apart from the very, very good reputation that it has internationally, my master's specifically was one of the few programs that blends this political science field with a more quantitative side, sort of say. And I think the skills that I've learned at Bocconi were extremely relevant to get where I am right now at the European Commission in Brussels and soon in Paris. Because since I was very young, I had this passion for politics and working for the government or in an international organization. And I believe that by choosing the masters at Bocconi, I have been little by little getting some fulfilling my professional goals, so to say. And also my second year of masters gave me this flexibility in working also, and making this transition, I hope, from the academic part to the job market easier. And I felt more or less like what Danielle said, that many students on the second year, they choose to go to internships abroad, to exchanges, or even double degrees. In my program, half of the course went to LSE in London, the other did Sciences Po in Paris. And on my personal experience at Bocconi, it's been really fantastic. I think living in Milan as someone from São Paulo really felt like home, because it's a very big city. People are very open. There are many international students, and there's always a lot to do. And regarding the actual studies, I will not be lying when I say that it's been quite challenging. I think it's a positive thing because I learned a lot, and also it was a enjoyable workload, so to say. I think the lectures were always very applied to public policies and what I am actually gonna do, and especially for someone coming from business. I think getting finally some insights in political science and other fields that were completely different from my bachelor's, it was enjoyable, challenging, but very rewarding. And I think if you are from a finance background, or if you want to go to consulting or economics, I think Milan is going to be the hotspot and very exciting place for you in all the senses, because many companies are there, the Big Four, the stock exchange, and so on. I think as a tip for future students, try as much as possible to engage in student organizations, because there are several at Bocconi. If you are on bachelor's especially, I think it's a way for you to get more the insights on how the job market works before you actually go, and try to experiment also to see your future specialization. I think this was very important to me when I kind of realized that I wanted actually to get this interest in public policy to my professional career. And perhaps also another tip is to profit as much as possible from the very, very big network of companies and international organizations, because Bocconi has well-established partnerships with them. In my personal experience at the DG for economics and financial affairs at the European Commission, there are many talents, and many talents that come from Bocconi, many Bocconi alumni, either from trainees or the policy officers. Also Chamber of Commerce, embassies, consulting companies, and so on. So I think if you really participate and engage well in extracurricular activities, I think with the privilege of having a Bocconi program in your CV, it's gonna be you're gonna be very well positioned in the market. So yeah.
Thank you so much, Ivan.
Thank you very
Also
much.
to you. Muito obrigado.
Obrigado.
Thank you. So Veronica.
Yes, we have a final testimonial, Erika, who is here with us in Milano, who is attending her second year of the Master in International Management from Peru. Am I right, Erika?
Yes. Yes, thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm Erika from Peru. As was just mentioned, I'm right now doing my second year of my master's in SAMS International Management. And well, yes, as the same as Ivan, the reason why I decided to do a master's is because I want to build a career in Europe. So I think this is the best way to go instead of going straight from your bachelor's, because this is not how it works here. Right. And the reason why I wanted to do this is because I was on an exchange in Switzerland before, and I really liked the difference. So I wanted to come here, and there's where I hear about Bocconi the first time. And I heard very amazing things about it. So then when I was doing my research to do the master's, I researched a little bit more, and it really has like a very, very good reputation. And then the program that I followed, because I applied to the SAMS and on international management, and I think it had like both have very amazing opportunities. They're very international masters. For example, I have to do a mandatory exchange, and I thought that was amazing because all the people that are in these masters are very open-minded and they want to do the same. They are open to this internationalization, which I think is very, very important. So yeah, that's the main reason why I chose Bocconi. And now, once that I arrived, I discovered that, in fact, it is a very prestigious master's and a very prestigious university for a reason. Like, it's very demanding program, a demanding university. It takes a lot of effort, but I think it's worth it. For example, my master's requires an international internship. So all the people from my class that wanted to do their internship this summer, me included, we had really no problem finding one. So I think it was a wise choice actually coming here. As for the life in Milan and the life in Bocconi, I think that Milan is really a good middle ground from a big city and a small city. It has a lot of things to do, yet it's not a huge city, so you don't really have many issues from big cities. For example, I lived in Lima for 5 years, and it was a little bit chaotic, and I don't think Milan is like this. So I really like it, but you can never get bored because you have many things to do, cultural. I can even find Peruvian restaurants here, which I love, and it's very important to me as well. And yes, I think it's a very nice place so far. And as far as my experience studying, actually, I'm going to do an exchange, as I mentioned before, in Vienna, for which I'm very, very excited. And I think that Bocconi is really preparing me very well to take any challenges that I may face in this other university. So I'm very happy about it. And I also wanted to talk about this opportunity that was already kind of mentioned before about like the career center and all the opportunities with companies. But for example, I took this program, like a 2-day seminar or something like this, with companies in Dubai, which I thought it was very, very interesting. So I had the contact with these companies of consulting, and some people from my class actually got the internships this summer. So I think that all these opportunities that Bocconi offer are really like a tangible things that you can achieve afterwards. So I think that's also something very important that I wanted to mention.
Thank you also, Erika. I mean, you know, all of you have, you know, paths, also you that you are still a student,
Yes.
which brings you in many places, basically. So, and I'm glad of the opportunity that, you know, you have been given, and you conquered yourself, but through our university. So thank you so much. Muchas gracias, to be paired with the Spanish and Portuguese. So thank you so much. Let me also thank our colleagues Chiara and Stefano, who have been answering, let's say, all the questions in the chat. So I think they're doing an incredible job, all the specific question. I will go to one slide right now, which is, about, let's say, some activities that we do, and then maybe we answer some questions. But these slides allows me to give you some information that were in some questions that you had. So basically, in every year we have our open days, and the open days are very relevant because there are presentation of the single degree courses, the masters, the bachelors. So the bachelor one is on the 2nd of December and the master one is on the 10th of February. And you can actually have the presentation by the director of the degree courses. So this is unique, a unique moment where you can get insights of the specific course. The director will talk, the alumni will talk, the students will talk, and you can interact either physically on campus or online. So this is double option. Also, there were some questions about our summer schools. So basically, we do have summer schools for high school students and summer schools for university students. As a matter of fact, our summer school had an incredible success. We had on campus this summer 1,700 students overall, with an increase in 4 years. We did 4 times the numbers before the pandemic, after the pandemic. So it's very successful. We offer labs for the undergraduate students. It's a 2 weeks program, and a course for the university students, which is a 3 weeks program. Basically, you combine the academic activities with cultural activities, company visits, events on campus, and so on and so forth. So you enjoy the campus, you try the disciplines that you want, that you like, and this is for the high school students. For the university student, you get credits. You get 6 credits. You get a grade, and this can be validated at your home university. So big success, and students coming from basically all over the world. Over 90% of the students were non-Italian this summer. Also, another very relevant activities that we do is an online, so very easy to attend, open classes and master classes. So open classes for high school students and master classes for university students. Basically, the idea here is 1 hour, let's say, talk, lesson about the professor of Bocconi on a trendy topic, very interesting topic in all our disciplinary areas. And at the end, a Q&A with the students. So you can taste, let's say, our model of teaching, our faculty members, and deepen knowledge of topics that you're interested in. These are also our contacts, and we do have our own Instagram account, office account, which is Meet Bocconi. So I think the answer are, Lucia, they are almost done. So they did a great job to stay in the hour or so, a bit more, but yeah.
Yes, we have a great team back here answering many of the questions by written. We still have a few. There's one directed
I would
especially.
like, Lucia, sorry if I interrupt you, because I saw a lot of questions about merit scholarships. And I know that Ivan was awarded an international award. Sorry if I interrupted you, but I just wanted maybe Ivan to say something about that. And I wanted to reassure students that when you apply for admission, when you fill out the application for admission to any of our bachelor or master programs, you are automatically considered for merit scholarships that cover 100% of tuition fees, or international awards like the one that Ivan got, that is a 50% tuition fee waiver. Or female, yes, here is Ivan maybe, or female merit scholarships that cover 100%. So you just need to apply for admission. You don't know, maybe you work a lot on your personal statement and your grades and your test, but you can get a merit scholarship without the need to apply for it. And you still have the time in springtime to think about your coming here. So this is at least a good news. I don't know.
Let me add,
yes.
Veronica, let me add that Bocconi invested a lot on scholarship. So back in 2015, we invested, we've been given 23 million euros in scholarships on that year. And this year we are over 50 millions. So the idea here is to allow anybody, independently from their financial, any talent, I would say, independently from the financial condition to attend Bocconi. So we do have merit scholarship, but also need-based scholarship. So lots of them. Lucia.
Okay, thank you very much. So what I was about to read is a question from Giovanna directly to Mario, and it says, could you talk a little bit more about the BA Global Law?
Oh yes, this is a brand new program. So we do have we've been doing law programs since 2001, and that was an Italian degree in Italian, 5 years, still existing, and that is the one who allows you to enter into the career of lawyers or let's say as a practicum and all that stuff that you can do if you want to be a lawyer. This course has a different scope, so it's 3 years. So it's not sufficient, for example, to be a lawyer in Italy. But the idea here is to teach students about law connected to economics, management, and other disciplines in a way that it's useful when you enter a company. So nowadays, all the companies are connected all over the world, and the legal offices are becoming more and more important. So they need professionals who can, experts in law, but can talk also the language of a company, of a manager. So the idea here is to study this and then either go directly on the job market and work for a company. We have many students who do work, international students who do work in Italy in legal offices, and this is anywhere in the world, but I have the experience of Milano where many students find places more and more in the recent years, or they continue to study, do let's say specialize in master in law, international relations, political science, even management if they want, and then go in the job market afterwards. The first intake was very good. We aim to have at least 30 students. We have 60. So it's going to be 100 next year for sure. Half of the population is outside Italy, and I've met with them. We had the welcome days, and they are very motivated, very strong. We have students from the United States, from Latin America, from Europe, of course, some Asians as well. So very international. I have to say that we needed that as Bocconi because people were asking for that, for law programs at Bocconi. We didn't have that in English, so it was only for people who speak Italian. So it's a nice program. If you join the open day on the 2nd of December, you will have the chance to talk to the director, Justin Frosini. He's English actually and teaches at Bocconi, and he can talk extensively about it. We do have a registration also on the web, I think, if I'm not wrong, Veronica, of the Justin Frosini presentation.
Thank you very much, Mario. We still have quite a few questions about, let's say, detailed questions about admissions. Our team, the Bocconi team, is currently answering one by one. In the meantime, we have another question. It's a little bit tricky, but maybe it could be interesting. It says, how rich is the Department of Latin American and Brazilian Studies in Bocconi regarding economics and political science?
Yeah, we don't have departments of geographical areas. So we don't have the Department of Latin American Studies, we don't have the Department of African Studies, and so on and so forth. It is so common in the US, but in the US, for example, or in the UK, because you have comprehensive universities, like universities who offer all the degrees and all the programs. As I said before, Bocconi is very much focused on social sciences, so we don't have all the, let's say, humanities and all that stuff. So we don't have a Department of Latin American Studies, though we have a research center in for Latin American Studies. We have Professor Antonella Mori. She's an expert. And if you want to do research in Latin America, we have those tools to do that. And we also have some electives focusing on Latin American Studies. So we don't have a department, but there are tools and professors who are focused more on that.
Okay, thank you very much, Mario. We have as I said before, quite a few questions asking for their particular situation regarding the admissions, documents, and etc. I'm pretty sure you mentioned this before, but in case anyone missed it, is there any email address our students can write to get maybe a personal interview to review their admission situation?
I think, Veronica, it was in my last slide, but we can put it also in the chat, Veronica.
Yes, it's here in the slide. Yes, but I can put you also. I'm not sure I can write to everybody.
The slide, and we can also write it on the chat so that maybe it will be easier for everyone to copy it. And
Just a second, just write to organizer, huh?
Yeah, these are the emails I can.
Yeah, these two.
Okay, so high school students.
Undergraduate.services for high school students and graduate.services for university students.
Okay, this is where we advise, as usual, to all the international students to get all the information they need in advance, because the application process might take a little while due to the bureaucratic steps that are to be taken. So we kindly advise that you set up an interview with the Bocconi team, who are always available to review your personal situation. And let's see, we have still a couple of questions. Is it possible to get a free waiver? I guess Veronica covered that before when she talked about the scholarships, the situation of Ivan, I guess, one of our alumni.
Yeah, not really a fee waiver, but you would invest in this application working a lot, and you can get a tuition waiver.
Okay, Veronica, thank you very much for clarifying that. We have some more questions. Okay, we have a Brazilian student asking for the step-by-step process to access to Bocconi, to get admitted in Bocconi. I guess maybe the best option is to go on the website or to
Yes, basically we have a My Application portal where students can insert their data and also their transcripts for high school or university, their test score, their English certificate, their CV, their personal statement. They can choose something that I didn't say before. When applying to bachelor, they can choose up to 4 bachelor programs they are interested in. If they are applying to master, they can choose up to 5 master. They can apply at the same time. So through this portal, they upload all the documents after they set a test, either SAT or ACT or the Bocconi test for high school students, or GMAT, GRE, or the Bocconi test for university students. They upload all the documents and they submit by the deadline, maybe one day before. Don't wait for the last minute, please.
The time is always precious. So get your paperwork as soon as you can. We have another question that could be interesting. We have a student from Costa Rica who is thinking about doing a foundation year at Ca' Foscari University. I'd like to know if a course in economics and management will be valid from that university. Also, if you could mention other universities that offer a valid foundation year program.
Yeah, there are some universities in Italy who offer foundation year, Venezia, Venice, Pavia, I think also Siena. So there are several universities offer foundation year. Of course, these are good programs, and you can take one year in order to deepen your studies and be more ready for the university. In the meanwhile, apply for the university. Remember that the application for Bocconi is 1 year in advance. So you apply, as Veronica pointed out, in July. For example, the early session, we strongly recommend to start with the early session. It will be between July and September of the previous year. So you already apply while you're doing, before you start the foundation program as well. So we don't consider that in the evaluation process, because we do consider only, as Veronica mentioned, the grades from second to last and third to last year and the test. But these are valuable. If a student feels that he needs or she needs to do another year, why not? And of course, Venice is beautiful. But anyway, if you come to Milano, it's 1 hour by train to go to Venice. 1 hour something, so it's not far away. Fast train.
Yes, of course. Also, Milan is a beautiful city with so many things to see and do. Another question here says from Luisa. Could you talk about the IB diploma program and its impact on the application process?
Veronica, you want to answer on that? There's no.
To be honest, yes, we look at IB diploma year 1 and the previous year. We suggest an average of 6 out of 7 in the 6 subjects. What I can tell you is that you have a CAS, you have the extended essay, so compared to other curricula, you work a lot and you can enrich your CV with all your CAS activities and work on your personal statement.
Thank you very much, Veronica. Here Anna says, hello, I have applied for the early session of the Bachelor in Economics and Management for Arts, Culture and Communication. If I get admitted, but I'm aspiring to get a Merit Financial Award and don't get it, can I reapply to be considered?
I didn't quite get. I mean, if you're not admitted, you can reapply. If you're admitted, you have to, and you don't want to accept the place, you don't accept the place, but then you can also reapply in the following round. So basically, you can reapply.
I think the question is about being considered for the Merit Financial Award.
So these are two different ways scholarships. One is the merit one, and one is financial one. So I guess unless between one round to another, unless it changes completely your, let's say, application, meaning that you get higher scores in the test, whatever, then if you don't get a scholarship in one single round, it's very difficult that you get a scholarship in the second round by merit, because you are you, and unless something changes very big. For the need-based scholarship, you will know the results of your application, which is afterwards, only very late, let's say in the summer before beginning of classes. So at that point, there are no other selection for the year. So once you know if you're basically, the concept of the need-based scholarship is that we receive of the application our, let's say, fees and funding office, and then they put them in a ranking to give the students who needs more the scholarships. So these need-based scholarship they have to wait until everybody applied in all the rounds. So it's later in time.
Understood, Nadia. Thank you very much. Anna left another question. Are admissions pending until last year grades sent? Will I have to send progress reports? I think it's not quite clear, but I guess she's asking if she can apply with some grades pending, and in that case, if she has to send progress reports.
So,
right.
I think she's referring to applying when she might not have ended the academic year or the full diploma. We usually evaluate students by the time they apply. So even if it's only the first semester of the last year, or in the case of a high school student, the second last and third last year. So the years before are not a problem.
Okay, Veronica.
We don't need the final grades at the end of the year. We just needed to, let's say, certify that the student has concluded, has ended the cycle.
Okay, thank you very much, Veronica. So we have one last question. It is a long one. We will try to follow the thread. Hello, I have one question about the IMCEMS MIM program requirements. In the list of the requirements, the Bocconi webpage, there is no mention of a bachelor degree in the management as a requirement of the minimum grade of GMAT. However, in the official CEMS webpage, it says that a CEMS participant must provide proof of academic preparation, have either received a bachelor's degree in management or economics in a related field. If applicable, provide a minimum of 600 points in GMAT. So
to be honest, Lucia, it was exactly what I was saying before. So we need a bachelor degree, but it's a bit extended in time, because many students, also in Italy, they apply for a master while they are still during their last year of bachelor, and they graduate from the bachelor when they have already started the master. It's a very common case. At Bocconi, we had graduation weekend, last weekend, and the students who graduated, they had already started the bachelor 1 month earlier. So yes, Brian, we need a bachelor degree, okay? We don't need it by the time you apply. You have until usually October, November of the year you start. Yes, GMAT or GRE or the Bocconi test are compulsory, okay? For CHEMS, you will need a dedicated personal statement, personal statement and a video interview that you're gonna be recorded through Kira Talent. Everything is on our website. Then you write an email and we will redirect you on the website. But these are just a few, I mean, the only one more element is the Kira Talent video interview, which is a recorded interview, it's not live. And in case you are applying to other programs, you will have to write a specific personal statement for International Management CHEMS program, okay?
Okay, Veronica, thank you very much. So we have reached to the end of our Q&A session. Thank you very much to all the participants who placed their questions and waited for the answers, especially for everyone who stayed here until the end. So I would like to invite our speakers to the screen, and so that we can say goodbye and thank our participants. Thank you very much for our fantastic panel, for being part of this exclusive event organized by Docsity in partnership with Bocconi. Bocconi meets Latin America, to the representatives of Bocconi University, and also to the alumni that were here with us tonight to share their experiences with Bocconi University. So thank you very much to our panel, and thank you again to our participants. We expect to see you soon in the next events organized by Docsity and the Bocconi University. Have a nice evening.
Thank you.
Buonasera a tutti.